we are back. We are here to go over Married at First Sight. For this review, we're going to go over episodes 16 to 18. Bear with me with these notes a lot. A large amount of a lot of things happen, from breakups to makeups to people staying together who shouldn't be together. But we do have James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel who is here. Welcome in, James.
Hello, everyone. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. Amp up the watch time hours. Get my girl in the algorithm a little bit more than where she is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate everybody who watches and supports the channel. On the screen, I did put a link to James's channel. I hope that you guys tap in and check that out. Also, as always, before I get started, I want to say a thank you to the moderators of this channel. You guys help make new people feel welcome. Old people feel like they're still part of the family. It's a wonderful situation. So I appreciate the moderators. We have American Born who is here moderating. I appreciate you guys. Feel free to leave a comment on your opinion. Also, feel free to leave a super chat. You can leave anything from 99 cents and on. We do appreciate it. I think there's a goal of like 5 or 10. I can't remember what was put up there. But please do join in. Please do, please do. Let's get into this review because we have like a lot to cover and a lot to discuss. Felipe and Tori in episode 16, everyone is on the way to the retreat. So we'll start there. Felipe tells Tori that he wishes that she would have defended him because at the last dinner that they were at, Tori kind of admitted finally to feeling a little frustrated being with Felipe because she's tired of the wishy-washiness. Nobody would be attracted to that. And she explains that the reason she held him accountable and didn't defend him is because he spoke negatively about her first, saying that he wants to sleep with other people and misses doing it. So I don't know. She acknowledges the work that he's been doing to kind of try and make it work, but she also says that she's not just going to defend him and that mentally it's been a lot to deal with him. And now suddenly, because people held him accountable, he wants to stick up for each other and stick together when you should have been doing that from the jump if you chose to get married. Then on the way to the retreat, that car broke down and he just sat there looking lost. You can't Google a phone number to a AAA near us or any of that. You just gonna sit there. And so she's like, I have to do everything. And I could tell she's just turned off by his lack of initiative. But how did you feel about them? That's what happened episode 16 with them.
Um, I feel like to me, she's like I said last recap, she's realistically not trusting her instincts and just letting it go. I think she is holding on for dear life and probably holding on to what she felt in the beginning and not realizing that was all an act. That was all a facade. That was all this man trying to impress you. And now that he does not have to impress you anymore, now you're seeing the real him. And see, she better than me because with my broken down Chevy Cruze, he would have had to get his ass out and on the side of the road. If you can't help me with this car, what the hell you here for? And she's like, well, I guess I got to get a new car. You should come with me so I don't, get ripped off. He goes, well, I wouldn't be no help. I'll just sit there and look cute. I'm like, the fuck? Really? Oh my, y'all, I could not. When I tell you, me and my broken down cruise, I'll be trying my hardest to start that car and leave his ass right there. I'm just saying.
You know what? It's highly annoying to have, like, you don't have to know exactly what you're doing when it comes to cars, but I do feel like at least try to do something. Like, that has nothing to do with being a man. That's just realistic.
He could have just opened the hood and just looked.
You
That's
could have
all he had to
looked
do.
and acted like you knew what you was doing. Something. He just sat there confused. And this is what happens when you spoil your kids and give them everything. Teach them
Yep.
some autonomy because Felipe's mom did a number on him. American Born says, shout out to you for being here moderating, AB. Felipe, get away from us, mama's boy. I agree. And then all the men know that they're freaking awful this season and they're all just making videos about it online like it's nothing. But Felipe infuriates me as well because he has no respect for women. And it's unfortunate because he has women in his family, but I think he's one of those men who respects the women in his family, but not women as a whole. He has a lot of growing to do, Felipe, and that's what I'll say. But we're going to come back to him. Belle Jolie and Mecca in episode 16 are still going through the motions because Belle Jolie is annoyed that Mecca is dragging the issue and trying to force her to talk about him saying that she's pretty but not pretty for him, which is crazy because why are you with her if there's no initial attraction? If there's no initial attraction, Mecca, why did you cry like a little baby and throw a fit because she didn't kiss you at the altar? Was it because you felt like she just was not pretty enough for you? So you're like, she should want to kiss me? Because I don't know in case anyone told you, sir, your painted fingernails tell us that you like boys, not us. So while you're sitting up here critiquing this woman, take a look in the mirror. Because your braids is old as hell. You not that cute. Your beard got patches. What's going for you is that job you got as quiet as it's kept. And I think he used that job as a reason to say, women don't want to date me because of my job. I've never heard a woman not want to date a sanitation worker. Most of them will run to y'all because we know you have jobs and benefits. I think women don't want to date you because of your nail polish and how you got to be daintier and you don't keep up with yourself and your family's problematic. But I'm going to digress and let it go. They are chilling. Also, Mecca, when you have your hair braided, if you are a girl, you put on a scarf and a bonnet or one or the other. And if you are a boy, you need to put on a wave cap, a do-rag, something. That's why your stuff is toe up at the head. I'm just saying. But they do have a conversation in the hot tub later on, and she is still irritated with Mecca about the comment. And she confronts him about it, and he tries to deny it. How is it that you knew that she was upset because of that comment at dinner? But then when fast forward into the hot tub, when she's talking about it, you deny it and act like, did I say that? But you knew you said it when she was uncomfortable the other night. So you're wishy-washy and a coward. Because it's okay to feel how you feel. It's never offensive to not be attracted to someone. It is your right to like who you like. We can't help who we like. I would never be offended if someone was like, oh, I'm just not attracted to you, Amina. That's fine. You're not for me. That's okay. But the problem is you cannot be attracted to people without tearing them down. And Mecca tends to tear her down and kind of try to make her feel small, which I don't like. And he kept denying this comment. And he saw she wasn't going to let it go. And then he was like, oh, okay, I apologize. I won't show apology if I have to work for it. But he looked aggravated with her words afterwards and then sat quiet. And then he played the manipulation of saying, I'm just quieter because I'm disappointed in myself. You chose those words. You chose to embarrass her. Your disappointment will go away. The embarrassment of her and what you did on national TV will never go away. So we don't care if you're disappointed, Mecca. And you keep, I notice he has a pattern, James, of like doing effed up stuff to Belle and then acting as if he is like the one hurting. Like he makes himself a victim all the time. I'm tired of hearing about your mama drama. I'm tired of hearing about your trauma. I'm sick of it. At some point, you cannot use your trauma as an excuse for your behavior. And I think Mecca's at that point. But Belle mentions that he and Felipe are used to being alone and not aware of other people's feelings. And then she starts saying, you self-sabotage. Belle, I see you trying, but this is not self-sabotage. You're beautiful, but that man is not attracted to you. And stop trying to listen to the experts make excuses. He's just not. But how did you feel about them too in
That's
episode
an
this? I agree with AB too. He needs to grow up.
that's another one that needs to trust her instincts. I'm sorry, Belle. You have all the right answers mentally, but you don't do anything physically with it, and it's really disappointing. As beautiful as you are, to think that as soon as this man said that and tried to lie about it, but you know he said it, and instead of you just saying, "Well, you know what," then we need to cut our ties because that's a huge part. Regardless of what people want to say, attraction is not everything. That is a lie, and I don't know how many times we got to tell y'all that is a lie. Attraction is very important for the physicality of a person that you are interested in. That is very important. So I just want her to stop doubting herself and understand you're making the right decision by walking away versus staying because it's not going to get better. It's
I
not going to
agree.
get better unless this man walks in his truth.
I agree. I heavily agree. And he's not. I still kind of think Mecca might like boys, but let's get the comments. AB says, yes, James. She says normally she wouldn't put up with this crap, but here we are at decision day. I think AB, a lot of these couples are just trying to make it to decision day so that they can peacefully break up off camera. And I don't like that because obviously Belle Jolie and Mecca are not going to work. Well, obviously most of these couples are not going to work.
Yeah, I about to say just about
So,
everybody.
and I'm like, that's the only thing that would make sense for them staying. Because if you're not legally bound to each other, which we learn, then why stay?
Right.
I don't understand that. I tell all my friends, every single friend I got who's in relationships who aren't married, when a person does too much too soon, I tell them all, leave. You ain't married. You got if I want to walk away, I can't. I have to go to the Alameda County Clerk Recorder's Office, contact an attorney, and do a bunch of other stuff. If you're not married, it's a gift. You can just walk away if they play with you. And I encourage people to do that all the time. Sure do. That's why people's spouses don't like me, but that's okay. I don't care. We're gonna get into Nikki and Sean from episode 16. Nikki and Sean, y'all. Tomorrow I'm having a pop culture live to discuss all the drama that's been going down with the cast of Married at First Sight, Housewives of Beverly Hills, 90 Day Fiance, and other shows I cover. American Born is part of the reason for this live because AB dropped some tea about Sean that I am going to laugh at him on the internet for. But Nikki mentioned Sean taking jabs at her. Apparently, Sean says that she's a 10 in Seattle, but a 7 in New York. Well, Sean, I'd like you to know that you're a -4 everywhere. Okay? I cannot stand you. I thought you were gay for half of the season, but now I don't think you're gay. I just think that you're so much of an asshole that you're undateable. And your ego is atrocious. I used to think Sean was gay. There's no way a gay man is lusting over coochie like he is with Nikki like this. There's no way. He'd be happy to not be given it. But Sean is just an asshole and a joke. And karma has finally come his way for the way that he thinks and moves. And I'm happy about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow on the channel. But Nikki, he took a shower, you guys, in this episode. He took a full shower. A full one. I was so happy to see him take a shower. But Nikki's trying to cook for him and she was Googling how to preheat the oven. Now, she still got the meal down, but she Googled how to preheat the oven. And in the car, Sean decides to call out Michelle for giving in to what Cam's wants and doing what she does in her other relationships. I said, Sean, don't call nothing out but yourself. Until you can figure out how to be in a relationship, be quiet. Because Cam and Michelle, yes, they're giving too much of strong opinions on everybody, but at least their shit don't stink. You literally stank with that wipe down of a shower that you did, Sean. And yeah, I just cannot. I can't. But Sean's mother is turning 72 and he's going to be going to her birthday party. And he says he wants to announce it so everyone knows that he's not abandoning Nikki. So you just told on yourself. So all you care about is how you look, not how you actually are. Because you want it to look like you're not abandoning Nikki. But then when behind closed doors, you're telling Nikki she's a 7 and could never be a 10 outside of Seattle. When you look the way you look, looking like Professor Clump if he had a diet. Like, please. Please, Sean. Please. Now, at the retreat, he addresses Adam about what happened. And Adam says they make peace, but I don't care to discuss it. I think Adam is full of it. You talked a big game being mad at him and forgave him so quick. So I don't know what that was about. But James, how did you feel about that?
About him and Adam?
Not him and Adam, about everything I just stated.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
You're
Sorry.
open to an open opinion here. We're not being
Here's the thing. The problem that I have with Sean specifically is that you want to appear that you're better than Nikki, and that's where I have the issue because both of you are equally bound, going through the exact same experience, having to learn each other as spouses. You're always trying to prove that you're smarter, more equipped, and more experienced than she is a lot of the time that we look at you. And I don't know what the case may be because sometimes it's hard to read Nikki, but even still, that's not how you should approach any situation, especially a marriage. We're gonna start there. The next thing I'm gonna say is that I hate when men, specifically ones that are least attractive, always trying to bring somebody else down because they don't feel like themselves. They don't feel like they're as attractive as themselves, and I feel like that's another thing that he does. It's so grimy. And the whole thing with Adam was just butthurt because I actually agreed with Sean when that statement was made. I do agree. Adam is on this show faking it and funking it and all this kind of bullshit just to be here, and we don't need that. We didn't ask for that. We don't care. Marissa, if I was you, I would be running too. If we
Adam
being
is
honest.
somebody I'm gonna be discussing tomorrow in my live. Also, all these people are red flags.
Yep.
All of these people. AB says they might get money if they make it to decision day. I feel like that might be the case because a lot of these couples are staying in it when they clearly
Well, I'll
have
just
nothing to stay in.
listen. I would just take my appearance fee and be gone. Cause ain't listen. I'm not about to sit up in no situation like Nikki and Sean or Adam and Marissa
All
or
money ain't
even
good money.
yeah or even what was that, Nick and Courtney, or
Oh,
Nick and what was her name? Her name wasn't Courtney. That's the
yeah,
other girl.
that was her name, but we'd love to forget the 28-year-old who looked 48. We're gonna move
Yeah.
into Caitlyn and Devin. Caitlyn and Devin are still here for now. Devin explains that he wants more affection from Caitlyn, but clarifies that affection doesn't have to be sex. For most women, that's the biggest turn on, but for Caitlyn, it's just not. Um, he was just like maybe a hug or a kiss, and she's like, "It's coming, it's coming." Don't be waiting on affection long, y'all. If a person likes you, you're going to get affection without them barely having to know you. If there's no reason that you should be waiting as long as this girl and Devin have been waiting. Like, there's no reason. Caitlyn is totally playing with this man. Just admit that you're not attracted to him instead of acting like you are attracted to him and then not doing the things that would show that you are, such as affection. Like, I'm not understanding what's hard about that with them. Now, he makes it clear that he likes Caitlyn and wants to be with her, but in a confessional, she mentions being attracted to him as well. But in real life, Caitlyn, ain't nobody waiting this long for your funky ass boundaries. You're not that cute to be doing all of this with these men. I said it, I don't care. Caitlyn acts like she is Britney Spears in 1999 and just the hottest thing since sliced bread. Girl, you are not all of that to be doing all of this. You're just not. And I know that sounds mean, but she irks me so much. And apparently, these two have not kissed or had any affection since Cancun. And that was in like the first couple episodes of the show. So, in my opinion, these two need to break up. Other things that happened just to finish out episode 16. Adam is still really mad that Sean called him out. But everyone has made bad comments about you, Adam. And I'm curious to see how you'll come at everybody when you see that everyone feels how fake you are. Cameron and Michelle announced that they're going to be doing a game night during the retreat, which is going to be messy. But how did you feel about the end of episode 16, which was basically, Caitlyn, Devin, Adam, Marissa? We'll get more into them with the retreat, but
Yeah. At this point in this part of the episode, I'm like, Caitlin, what made you sign up for this? What made you sign up for this? Because to me, it's not that he's not attractive. He's actually very considerate. He's nice. He does for you. He realistically is a very nice guy, got a good career. He's an athlete. He does well for himself. So, what is it about him that you can't succumb a little hug or a kiss or some affection? Oh, you know what it is? I figured it out. He ain't toxic. That's why. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to call a spade a spade. That man ain't toxic. That's why she don't want him.
I don't think she's attracted to him. I think she just says it to be nice. She's a Gemini, and that kind of helped me have clarity to her. Geminis go along to complete something, but if we don't like you, we're not going to be affectionate
And I get
with
that, but don't
y'all.
waste his time.
Exactly.
Don't
And this
waste
is
his
why a
time.
lot
Yeah.
of people don't like Geminis in dating. See, those
Yeah.
of us who are reformed, we understand it. I can't admit it. But Geminis can be wishy-washy. I could be here today and very invested, and then Prince could not hear from me for a day or a few weeks. And I don't know. I just feel like she doesn't like him and needs to be honest about it. But we get to the couples retreat, y'all. And they played the game, which was messy, called The Likely Spouse. And I feel like they might have done this for the show, just a little bit. However, Cam and Michelle is not a good look. You guys were likable until you did this game. It's messy. This gave Bell Collective when Latrice had Amanda come by, knowing that Glendale and Letitia was there, and had them ask questions about who's been attracted to someone in the group. It's just messy. Like, you know, the game's gonna stir the pot. They first voted most likely to flirt with a waiter in front of their partner. Felipe got voted. Most likely to hook up in a public space. Felipe was voted. Most likely to sabotage their relationship went to Mecca. Most likely to get the ick in their marriage went to Caitlyn. Most likely to switch spouses went to Caitlyn. She was not happy about it, but Devin looked a little more upset because he knows it's true. I think he's been done with her, but still trying to hang on. And most likely to send nudes to the wrong person was Felipe. He gave a corny speech after winning most of these toxic answers, as if he was proud of it, and did not have any regard for Tori, who was next to him looking noticeably upset. Now, how do you feel about those questions in the game, James? Because
It was messy, and I just felt like it was unnecessary. I felt like we couldn't have played a good game of charades or, some trouble. We had to
what
play
trouble?
we had to play this particular game where y'all are going to cause dissension, because to me I feel like that game did more harm than good.
It did. It really did.
Yes, so I felt like, why could we just play something normal? Yeah, we could have played Monopoly, couples Monopoly or something, like, something different, but why this game? And can't
Married at First Sight is trying to be interesting, but if production puts them up to this, please don't do this again.
yeah, please don't do this, because all this made me do is side eye Cam and Michelle. That's all this made me do, because
Yeah.
we just getting the surface with them. We ain't even digging deep of no issues. Everything is, oh babe, you're so cute. I
He's
love
doing all the work
you.
too.
Yeah.
As quiet as
And
it's
he's
been,
like,
Cam's not doing much. He
he's
goes
like,
into
yeah.
his little depressive moods.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, okay, get up. We're going on a walk. Get up. It's okay. You got to talk to your spouse. Like, she's doing all of the work. I do think Sean is kind of right about Cam and Michelle also. Listen, you
Mm-hmm.
could be an asshole and bad at your own dating life, but be great at giving advice and identifying issues in other people's.
Well,
Okay?
when you're just as equally as problematic, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Game recognized game.
But he's also got a doctorate, so he's trained in critical thinking in a way that's different from the rest of us. And I think that he's able to apply stuff to other people, but not look within himself, which is common. Sometimes people get a misconception that if you're like extremely smart or have a PhD or work in fields of mental health, that because we have the tools to help other people, that we can just help ourselves. And it's not that simple. It's just not that simple. But Sean definitely gives that. Oh yeah, Devin hated the games. I just don't like that. Like, I feel like I have a stable and healthy relationship right now. It hasn't always been that way, but it's been that way for the last like 10 years. And I would never come up with a game when out with other couples or people with my husband that will like call people out. Like, that's weird. That's weird. Now, the next thing we see is the ladies talking to Michelle at this retreat. And, she's explaining that she has no worry with Cam because apparently the only reason Cam is doing this show is because dating in Portland is awful. How did he get on a show for dating in Seattle if he's in Portland?
Well,
That
that's not a far drive. So
It's not a far drive, but still it's far enough to where they have to discuss like moving and stuff. Nobody wants to make that type of a drive just to see their spouse.
no,
It's
but
odd.
I just feel like I could see why they would extend it out to Portland, because he wasn't the only one. Apparently, there was one or two others that lived in Portland.
Courtney, her family, and everyone that she knew was in Portland, and I believe
There was somebody else.
Nick as well
Yeah.
had a childhood home in Portland, but I don't know. It's a little odd, but the men have a chat while the women are talking, and Adam mentions off camera seeing Caitlyn ignore Devin entirely. So the group goes out, and it looks like they're getting cool off camera, but when they go out, Caitlyn shows no interest in Devin, uses her phone the whole time, and entirely avoids him. And Mecca discusses the comment he made about Belle Jolie and her being pretty, but not pretty enough for him. And every man, and we have some stupid men this season on Married at First Sight, but every man understood that what he said was problematic. And Mecca is asked a good question by Adam. Adam is like, well, what do you like about Belle? Because Cam was like, is she your dream girl? He was like, no. He was like, oh my God. And then Mecca thought he was going to win and was like, is Michelle yours? And he was like, yes, without hesitation. So Adam steps in and asks Mecca what his dream girl would be. And he said the most shallow shit he should have said, which was, he likes some thick. Thick how? Thick thighs, thick breasts, thick at the belly, okay? Because we got women who 400 pounds talk about, I'm just thick. So you got to clarify, sir, in today's time, what you mean when you say you like them thick. And I find it interesting you say you like it thick when all of your exes is white girls. Nothing is wrong with dating outside of your race. My little sister is in a very committed relationship with a young, lovely young gentleman named Will. And he is a white man. His dad lives in Sweden. His mom is in Scottsdale, Arizona. They're fine. He comes to some events with us that have to do with black people. He'll listen to my dad lecture him about the Panthers, and he's cool. It is what it is. It's okay to date outside of your race. Now, I know that for some black women in the black community, they get a little bothered by this, like, why are our black men dating other people? Sometimes a person you attract is not going to be of the same race, and that's okay. Now, there are some black men who date white women because they view them as more timid. I have heard this before, and less mouthy than a black woman or a Hispanic woman or a woman of color. There are some who are like that. Usually you can spot them out. I feel like Mecca just has a preference of white women, and I don't know if Mecca will see this, but that is okay. But what's not okay is to have a preference of a certain type of woman. Look at this woman and know you're not attracted to her and cannot overcome it or become attracted to her. Know that she's also not what you want physically, aesthetically, not with race or anything, and continue to lead her on. That's the part that is wrong. But I'm with Cam. Mecca's behavior is egregious. It's absolutely egregious. But how did you feel about that conversation the men had?
I felt like one, they played him, which was funny on national TV. That was the best part for me because it was like, okay, you just digging the hole deeper and deeper, and they are tickle pink with you doing that because that just made you look crazy, especially now that we know in today's time, you don't like them thick. I've seen the women that have come out about you. They didn't look
That
thick
is a
to me.
real. Like,
They didn't look thick to me. So I don't know where that came from all of a sudden. But I think it's highly funny and deplorable at the same time. I think that once again, Belgically, if you watching, baby, I hope you
run.
saw that you got played and you need to run, and you and Nikki need to be in HR filing all kind of suits with playing in y'all face and making y'all look dumb for reality TV.
Yeah, I agree. He's wrong and the experts are wrong. Now, they're not therapists, they're life coaches, but they're terrible at that too.
I want to
Just
know how much
terrible.
control they actually have with matching.
I don't think they do any
I
of it.
really want to know. I do. I
Early early seasons of Married at First Sight, Dr. Pepper was primarily the one putting together the matches. But as the show progressed and got more popular, I think that production participates more in the matching than the actual people who are supposed to be experts do. I would hope.
we
There was
all
a
would
lady
hope.
on TikTok who tried out and didn't make the cut for the show. Oh Lord, Lord, Lord. Hello, Courtney. What are you laughing at? AB said that white lady he dated was skinny and tall, not so thick at all, and basic in the face. So I'm like, what are we doing? My
Hmm.
question is, why didn't Mecca tell the experts he wanted a white woman? Why did the experts assume that because they had a black person on the cast that they had to match him with somebody black?
Yep.
Why did the experts match them because of trauma when a trauma bond is one of the worst bonds that you can have with a person?
Absolutely.
There's a lot that they just went wrong on.
Went wrong and didn't even think to even try to rectify or correct it with cross examinations, like, okay, but what are the actual trauma issues, and could this be something that backfires? Because if this is something that backfires, then maybe we should not do this.
That's right. Courtney says it's okay to date outside your race. Don't just don't degrade your race. That isn't your preference. It's totally fine. Now,
Yeah.
if someone's saying I just don't like black women or I just don't like white women, that's crazy to me to say because you can't the black. It's okay if you have a preference, have your preference, but the world is sensitive, so who knows? Courtney said it's giving pancake batter old flapjack asses. Y'all tap into Courtney. She does have candles, you guys. I'm gonna put a link in the description after this video, but tap in High Vibes Candles on Instagram. Mecca was covering his tracks with the men, so he can say they didn't give me what I wanted. That's true. That is
Yeah.
true. I have a feeling the supposed experts might get replaced. Oh, I hope they do. I didn't care for them. I didn't feel like they did a good job, and I felt like Paul tried to dig into people's asses too late. Stop hiring life coaches and hire actual practicing clinicians, but they probably found life coaches because nobody licensed would agree to this type of situation because it's unrealistic to be married at first sight. Some people may have made it work, but it's highly unrealistic in real life to be married at first sight. Those with sense who are not desperate understand that. I digress. Moving forward, Tori and Felipe have a talk in their room away from everyone at the retreat, and she mentions the joke about him being a bad partner, and he acted like he didn't understand or do anything wrong. And in my opinion, you are the reason they made the joke because you keep hollering out at every dinner that you miss sleeping with other people, making it seem like she's bad in bed or boring. So, of course, that's the reason they feel this way. But she dumped his ass, and I was glad. And after breaking up with him, Felipe is moping through the house, and Caitlyn got on his ass. And I said, you just like to hear yourself talk, bitch. How is it that you can identify all of these things for other people, but you can't identify the fact that nobody wants to wait 17 years for a hug? Okay? This bitch can't even give him a hug. And I don't understand why she felt like she was the person who needed to get at Felipe. Like, you're the last person anyone wants advice from, Caitlyn. Be quiet and mind your business, respectfully. Sean also tried to jump into the conversation, but Sean also wrote a book, and I think that's a joke because his book was about relationships. So I don't know. I'm kind of over it. But how did you feel about the breakup? Because Felipe just was not getting it. If he didn't get it with Tori, he's not going to get it if a random person explains it to him. But how do you feel about the breakup at
Exactly
this
what you
point?
said.
Not what
Exactly
I
what you
said.
exactly what you know. Because if he's not going to get it with his wife, he's not going to get it with anybody else. I feel like she was very clear and very concise and very to the point of why this would bother her. But he made it all about him.
He sure did.
And it's kind of like, well, okay, well then that means that emotionally she's not safe with you. If mentally she's not safe with you because if she is voicing what the issue is, and it was a very minute mood point. Like it didn't seem like it bothered her. It just seemed like she didn't want him to indulge in those characteristics. And I think that she was trying to put that into perspective for him is that she didn't mind the jokes, but she don't want you to play into them and making it seem like, okay, yeah, that is me. He. I don't care. That's what she was that what she was going about. So the fact that you turned it around and made it about you and what people thought of you was crazy to me because that's not even what she was talking about. So you don't listen. That's one thing.
Mhm.
Two, you don't know what you're doing because you don't even have the emotional intelligence to even soothe her in her moment of discomfort and hurt because she feels betrayed. It's like I blame your parents because they spoiled you. Because we know your backstory. I blame your parents because you should be emotionally intelligent enough to know that okay, let me at least listen. Or the way, therefore, if I don't understand, let me at least comfort her or hurt and try to do better. Because all she wants you to do at the bare minimum is try, and you can't even do that. It's crazy.
Felipe is a joke. When I say, what did K Michelle say? You can't raise a man. That's
No,
what
you
it's,
can't.
that's,
Yeah.
you can't. You absolutely can't. And Tori, I don't know why they would put someone so independent with someone so interdependent. I don't understand it, but what can we do? What can we do? AB saying it's not funny, Felipe. Right. Felipe think shit sweet. And it's not. And your mustache sucks and so does your haircut. Like I'm sick of him. American Born says, Sean, you just lost your job. He sure did. We will be discussing that tomorrow on my live. Sean lost his job because of his behavior on this show. Because when you have an advanced degree, whether it is a graduate degree or a PhD. It doesn't matter if it's in psychology. It doesn't matter if it's in math. It don't matter if it's in something crazy. When you take certain degrees on, you kind of have to behave in a certain way as it relates to ethics and morals. And he has definitely failed at that. Right. His mustache and his hairline, I don't like it. He looks like a Super Mario character. Shout out Nintendo Switch. Um, but we're going to move forward because the next day, Caitlyn and Devin get into it really bad because Caitlyn went up to him and was like, "Did you see how I gave you all that affection yesterday?" Because she was touching him and stuff while drunk around people. And he's like, "Okay." And she wanted him to acknowledge her bullshit ass affection. But now she claims that she wants to feel desired. How dare you, Caitlyn, say that even though you gave him affection, you want to feel desired. When he was showing you that he desired you in Cancun, you fell back and closed off as if he was a problem. You told him not to touch you and not to give you affection. Now you're not getting that. And now you say you want to be desired? You stupid bitch, you were being desired. And you told him to stop. I would have broke up with her right then and there, but that wasn't his moment. But how you felt about that? Because I'm like, the audacity of this girl.
I mean, the same way you said I would have broke up with her right then and there because to me, you're not playing with me and you're playing with my emotions and you're making light and joke and fun at my expense, and that's not funny and that's not cool, and that is actually very manipulative of you, to be honest with you, because to me you're trying to play with his emotions when he's really trying to genuinely connect with you because he just committed himself to you. And the fact that you would sit there and do that, I understand why he did what he did in the last two episodes, watching it the second time around, because the first time I didn't agree with him when we get there, but the second time I actually understood him.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Just come out the closet, Caitlyn.
Right.
It's
Because
safe.
that's really what it is.
That's what it's giving.
Yeah.
It's okay if you're a little bi-curious, baby. Go ahead. Eating coochie ain't never hurt nobody. In fact, it's good for your gut health. Do what you got to do. Okay? But I'm tired of this because given she don't like men. Because see, with
Yes.
Courtney, she was this way with Nick. But Courtney, it seemed like she wanted to be with Adam or Felipe, in my opinion. Like you could see that she was in her head trying to think, who can I swap? But with Caitlyn, it doesn't seem like she's interested in any of the men. It just seems like she just don't like men. And I could be wrong, and that's okay if we are wrong, but I've never seen a woman have a man be so kind, so giving, so thoughtful. Like getting a man like Devin, hello, most women would enjoy that. What's poppin' KYJ TV, our newly monetized YouTube friend? We gonna keep shouting you out. I'm obnoxious when I celebrate people. James will tell you. I'm very obnoxious when I celebrate others. But it is with love. Tap into Q1J TV. Hype her video. Leave a super thanks, a super chat. Support a real thug. Okay? What are we gonna get to next? Mecca and Beljo are going wine tasting. Butterflies and Pinot Noir and Merlot and whatever else, White Zinfandels. She says that she sees that Mecca self-sabotages, so she's going to give him grace. And he ain't shit because he let her think that when the reality is you just said the night before that you're just not attracted to her. You're a fucking bitch, Mecca. And when I say bitch, you a scary bitch made ass nigga. Because clearly you might like boys and girls based on how you dress and how you move. And if that's not the case, then you like white women, but you too much of a bitch to admit it when no one really cares. Date who you date. I don't care. What's that rapper Ice-T? He's married to a white woman. Been with her for years. There's a lot of people married to white people who are African American, and nothing is wrong with it. Nothing is wrong with it. So I feel like Mecca's a scary ass bitch because you're going to sit here and let this girl say it's self-sabotage and you're using your childhood trauma as a way to manipulate a situation in your favor. That's what disgusted me. Because she made it very clear that's the only reason she was giving you grace. And you should have made it very clear and manned up and been like, I have been struggling to be attracted to you. You are the first black woman I've dated in a minute. Or just say, I don't usually date women of your type. And so it's taken me a while, but instead he lies and breadcrumbs and like love bombs her. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Um, did you want to add anything to just that little statement? Because we're gonna come back to the
We're gonna no, I agree with you. I do. They just
James is just like I agree
because
here.
to me it's getting redundant to keep repeating this. Like,
Yeah,
and I want her to get a clue. She turns into what I wanted her to turn into later on. That's why I
she
said,
does.
yeah, she turns into that eventually. But I hate that anger had to put her there versus just using your discernment and common sense.
Yeah, listen to your gut, people.
Yeah.
Get me off them prostitute streets. Oh Lord. Devin almost had everyone, but when Belle Jolie had to pull him back, he made the red flags come out. That's true. That is true. Now, Felipe and Tori talk again because they broke up and he was moping and crying to everybody. But he explains that he does not want to be changed. I said, Felipe, nobody has tried to change you. This is the statement that a childish man makes who's still a boy and not an adult. Being on time and emotionally available to your partner has nothing to do with you changing. It just means you care about this person enough to pay attention to them. That's it and that's all. But they decide to get back together and they're going to try to commit to considering each other. I feel like they've done this so many times, Felipe and
Yep.
Tori.
Yep.
Or is it just me?
Nope, it's not just you. They
I'm
have done
saying.
this several times this season. And I don't understand. Like Sister Patterson said, what's not clicking? What's not
What's not
clicking?
clicking,
What's not
Tiffany?
clicking? Tori. What's not clicking? This man is going to be who he is. He ain't changing. He ain't going to be different. This is what it is. He's not ready for this. I don't know what made him sign up for this show, but he's not ready for this.
Oh, he
This was
said he's
probably,
lonely. He's lonely,
it's
Jam.
probably that, but also I think it's his mama. I do. It's something he said in the next episode. No, the last episode. It's something he said in this episode 18 that made me go, "Oh, this was you. This was you trying to hurry up for your mama." I get it now.
I agree. I heavily agree. I could tell when somebody irritate James on TV though. Felipe irritating James.
All of them
So
irritate
vicious.
me. Every single last one of
Oh,
them, with maybe the exception of Marissa and one more person. All of them irritate me. All of them because it's just it's probably Michelle. I think Michelle doesn't irritate me. I just think she just goofy and goober and too invested in everybody else instead of looking at her own stuff.
thank you. Because she's doing all the work in her relationship. I like him. He's a nice guy. I do give him a pass because he's newer to relationships, but it's not fair to put someone so new to relationships with someone who has some type of experience because one person ends up doing the work. And to me, that's not balanced or fair. Um, the ladies end up chatting, you guys, and Michelle decides to tell Belle Jolie what Mecca said about her not being his dream girl and liking them more thick. And Belle said, "Does he think I wanted a nigga that's wearing nail polish?" I said, "Clock in, Belle. Thank you. Clock in.
We was worried because
Don't
we didn't know where you were going. I'm so glad. I was so happy she said that. I was clapping when that scene
unless
came
your
on.
man is a rock star like Kurt Cobain was, or unless your man is really unless your man is a rock star on television or openly bisexual, there is no reason, or pansexual, there is no reason that a heterosexual woman wants a straight man that's got his nails painted. There's no reason. I said the same thing about Lyrica and A1 on Love and Hip Hop when he was doing that, or whatever his name is, Summer Spring. He has a whole new name now. I don't know what it is. I don't keep up with him. But Belle pointed out that nail polish, and I was glad she did. The shit looked terrible anyway. And Nikki tunes in after, Belle hears that. She's processing it. And then Nikki tunes in and she's like, Sean told me I was a 7 in New York City and I'm only a 10 in Seattle. And everybody's kind of grossed out by that. Now, before we move forward and more into Nikki and Sean, do you feel like it was Michelle's place to tell Belle Jolie what Mecca said?
Yes and no. Here's my thing. She didn't hear it with her own ears, so that's why I'm going to say the no part. But the thing about it is, if we're opening up if we're all in the same position, girls and guys and stuff, and you hear something about me and you think I should know about it, then I'm gonna say yes. Please tell me. Just please open up, and regardless if it's right or wrong, at least owe me that. But I'm gonna say yes and no because one, she didn't hear it. She got it back from Cam, which he could have got it wrong as well. You don't know what was said, so that's why I say yes and no.
I agree with you. That's part of why I asked you that question, because I knew you'd explain it a little better. But I agree. And the biggest part of what James is saying is, if you did not hear it yourself, don't
Right.
repeat it. It's not
Exactly.
like, if James didn't tell me something that he heard about, but that he didn't see or hear himself, like, I wouldn't get mad at you for that, because
Especially because this is her husband. This
right,
is not like this is somebody she's dating or someone she's courting. This is her husband. So that's a very touchy thing to do just off general purposes. So that's why I say yes and no, because I can understand to some degree because she has to show that underlying loyalty because they are women. But at the same time, she didn't hear it. So I can't, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't do
yeah.
that. Yeah.
If you didn't hear it yourself, you got to be careful repeating it. That's how
Right.
rumors and bullshit starts and things get misconstrued. That is a word,
Yes.
James. Thank you for
Yes.
that. AB said, I was glad she said that, and so was everyone in America. Thank you, Bill, about them fingernails. Right. But I think when she made that comment, it proved that there's stuff that she's been bothered with as well. She's just
Yep.
empathetic and has enough sense to not point it out. These men are so disrespectful this season. These men and some of the women, Caitlyn and Courtney, full of shit. They ruin it for the rest of the good women. But these men, trash.
Yep.
Every last one of them. And I'm sorry, I'm including Cam in that, because don't nobody want no boy you got to teach how to be in a relationship, okay? Every one of these men should not have been married to anybody. They weren't ready for commitment, in my opinion.
Well, and then also going back to him, it just to me that's inauthentic all within itself because you're trying to put a man who has really no relationship experiences and you want his very first real relationship to be a marriage.
Thank you.
Like, do
The
we really
experts
not
should
think
not have let him pass anything, because it's like he's
anything?
able to
Yeah.
date. He just wasn't able to get far with people.
Right. Because it's not like he's ugly. So it's like he just needed more experience. I think he keeps himself busy because he's socially awkward. And I think he keeps himself busy and does other things to, not put himself out there. And which is fine because you only get one life to live and live it the way you want to. But at the same time, don't go on a show called Married at First Sight and then get somebody who has a whole lot of life experiences, but it's not equally yoked because now she has to teach him. And then the thing about it is, when you teach people things, they outgrow those things. And then what ends up happening is once they outgrow those things, they somehow outgrow you too. Because now what they've learned, they apply it and then and then life hits them. And then they learn something completely different, which unravels everything you taught them.
That's right.
So
That's
you
actually
know
entirely correct.
you can't really do. That's what I'm saying. That's gonna backfire. I already know it's gonna backfire. I get they're still together in real time, but that will backfire one day. It really will. And it's so
It
sad because
will.
I like them, but it's
I
gonna
think they
backfire.
can make it work, but you're right. Regardless if they work or if they break up off the show, it's going to backfire in some way. So you
Yep.
still, no matter which way you slice it, you're correct. He's inexperienced, and that's
Hmm.
okay. But not when you're like getting married.
Right.
Cam and Michelle needed to mind their own business. They were happy to see the other couples implode. Never trust a motherfucker who's happy to see somebody else not succeed. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you got to be Hercules, Hercules every time people do stuff, but you shouldn't hate on others' success. You should not be glad that others are not succeeding. And Cam and Michelle seem to bond over the
Well,
other couples
it's
and
just
how
they
bad
get
they
they
are.
get so tickled in their stomachs over this, and it's like, okay, now it's becoming disgusting. Like at first, I thought y'all really were looking out and calling out the mess because maybe they needed to
But
hear or
they're
see it from a
enjoying
different.
being the
But
perfect
it's like it's
couple.
an enjoyment, and it's like I don't like that because no, you should not be enjoying married people's downfalls.
That's right.
That's not no, that should not
That's
be fun
right.
for y'all.
That's right. That is a word. Now, I done lost where I was at in my notes. Oh, yeah, yeah. After all of this, because Nikki is commenting on Sean calling her a seven and his father and her. Nikki, you're not a seven. Okay, you 40 something years old, lady. You are in no way a seven. Sean coming on TV with a dad body, never having kids, and not being able to touch no pussy for 9 years at a time. Girl, you ain't the seven. Obviously, he's the problem. He's a -7. And now that he's been on national television not washing up, that's probably why that university fired his ass. Okay, because you can't come to work funky, y'all. You cannot come to work funky and unkept. I just don't like him. But at the dinner, Nikki admits that she does like Sean and that she has been missing him. And she mentions the comment that he made rating her. And Belle made a comment saying she does not like Sean for Nikki at all because you could tell she's pissed off because of Mecca. And she says she don't understand why these men got to demean the women instead of uplifting them, which is right. And at the table, Michelle asks why Nikki is not thinking long term because Sean is not for her. And Nikki did become defensive. And I was happy that Nikki kind of checked Michelle, if y'all paid attention, because Michelle, it's okay to offer your opinion, but baby girl, you had to come on this show to get help for to find love as well, just like the rest of them. So come down off your fucking high horse and relax. Because if any other woman was with Cam, I don't think it would be going this well. Why? Because no other woman is going to teach a man how to fucking be with her. And that is literally what Michelle has been doing. Now they're okay. But like James said, situations like that where you teaching somebody how to be with you, that shit's going to implode at one point or the other.
Yep.
It's going to catch up to you. It just is. You shouldn't have to teach people to be with you. They should want to and just figure it out. Called being
Exactly.
curious.
Yes.
I don't understand. But I was happy Nikki stood up for herself. How did you feel about Nikki addressing the table and all those things?
I feel like it was very much so necessary because regardless if there's an attraction or if she likes Sean or does not like Sean, she has to try to make this marriage work the same way all of you have to make your marriages work. So I don't think it was necessarily fair for all of them to judge and also pick apart her relationship in front of her just because it's not working well right now. She could easily grow an attraction to him and fulfillment because she doesn't know him. She's still trying to learn him, but she could easily grow that. Now, is it possible? Is it probable? No. Possible, yes. But the problem that I have with Michelle in this very moment is once again, you are relishing in the fact that there is a downfall in their relationship and trying to pick it apart because you feel like yours is better than theirs and you're comparing and contrasting. That's all she's doing, y'all. All Michelle is doing is comparing and contrasting her situation and her attraction and her, wellness for Cameron and how it's so much better than everybody else. But also, you've been in control of yours. Cameron has not been in control. So there's a whole lot of difference in your situation versus theirs. I'm sure if Nikki had full control of her situation, it would be going well too. But the fact is, she doesn't, and she doesn't want to because you can't control another person. Especially not at their big grown ages. Because mind you, Nikki and Sean are 10 years older than everybody. So it's kind of like they have already lived a life experience of going through their 30s already. So they already know what's up and know what it takes to do this. The rest of y'all are just still learning. So I kind of feel like to me, it really is unethical, but at the same time, you gotta be careful what you do. Because it's gonna come back. It is.
Child, I can't say AB's common enough. Mind your business. Please. Please mind your business, y'all. Now, after the dinner, Mecca talks to Caitlin. He was like, 'cause that's my friend. I'm like, huh? When did y'all become cool like that? I thought that kind of came out of nowhere. But I'm not surprised he's friendly with Caitlin because Caitlin looked like what he usually want. But he too scary to admit that. And he talks to her about Belle. And she learned about how he really felt about Belle. Now, fast forward to the game night. Again, for whatever reason, the group plays a game together. And after they're chilling in the game together, Caitlin and Mecca went outside separate from everybody in the group, which was the biggest red flag. Belle Jolie and Devin should have took their behinds outside and went right there with them. Because why do you need a private moment with this person? Why? James is my best friend before he was dating men, when he was dating women. I've had private conversations with him, but we are not gonna
Be all up in each other's faces
look at each other directly in the
right and
eye.
touching shoulders and stuff. No, we're not going to do that. And Belgia Lee and Devin, y'all are stupid because when they were doing that, we would be doing that. Because what are we talking about here? What are we doing?
A mess. It pissed me off because you could tell when people look at each other if there's like a chemistry. I hear this from people with me and my partner. They'd be like, you can sense that there's care and attraction between us. But the way I shouldn't be able to sense that with my husband with somebody else's wife. Like that's not how it should be. She's affectionate with Mecca. He was touching her and things like that. And Devin and them are watching to where it did look like they was flirting. And the men eventually discussed it in front of Mecca. They're like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. It looked like you was really doing more. Now I did feel like they should have intervened, but nobody did because they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. But later on, we see Caitlyn and Devin go on a date. And at the house, he seems kind of over her. Like Devin has seemed over Caitlyn since before they came on this trip. And I think he's within his right to feel over her. And they talk and he's pretty much sick of her because he confronts her about why he's like, why are you flirting with Belle and being all, or not Belle, but why are you flirting with Mecca and being all flirty and all of this? And, you know, he just seems sick of her. She dumped him, but if everyone peeped, when Caitlyn dumped Devin, he smiled and got less red. He was fucking done with her. I don't think he's a quitter, probably because he's in the team sports. And yes, it is a thing if you're an athlete and in the sports. A lot of that carries over into other parts of your life. You're not going to quit. You're going to hang in there. But I think he was fed up with this chick. And I think that when she dumped him, that smirk, when someone breaks up with you and you smile and he didn't cry or nothing, he was just like, yep, we out of here. That's it. And I was laughing because it's funny they ended up breaking up when she was talking about she's ready for sex. And he seemed annoyed, like, how are you ready for sex when you don't even want to give me a hug? We have never kissed with tongue, but you're ready for sex. But you've been saying you move slow. But now that you being confronted about your friendliness with Mecca, now you ready for sex and all of this. She got fed up because she was called out and they broke up. Now, Devin was cool as fuck about it. He looked at Mecca. He said to the camera, he was like, I already talked to him about it and told him to fall back. He respected it and fell back. Devin, what you should have done is channeled your inner Mrs. Best and went to Belle Jolie and talked to her first and then been cool with Mecca. I would have blew his shit up the same way he blew mine up. Because I think Mecca did that on purpose, and a piece of me feels like Mecca ain't shit. He was real confident dealing with Caitlyn, but not as confident dealing with Belle, which tells me he's probably one of these black men who feels like it's easier to get at a white woman because he probably has some negative connotation of black women because of the trauma he has with his mama and how his daddy is. And I know that
Yes.
seems a lot to inference, but
No, that's not a lot to inference. No, no, you actually no, that's not a lot to inference because he has demonstrated it because he keeps talking about it. He
yep,
keeps talking about his mother abandoning him. He keeps talking about his stepmom abandoning him and him having to watch his siblings live with her and he couldn't do the same. So no, I don't think that that's inference. I think that you are actually that's the problem. I think Belle Jolie reminds him of his mom. I really do, and I think that that's what the experts got correct is that y'all found somebody that's probably just like his mom. And the problem is that I think Belle has a subconscious about it, which is why she's not automatically leaving because she in that conversation with Nikki and Michelle, it was like she transformed into a completely different person. And the things that she were fed up about were the things that are like, okay, yeah, so it's obvious these are a problem, as you just said. So to me, I feel like this is the representation of his mother and he doesn't like it, but he doesn't want to come off as no asshole. And then the thing with Caitlyn is I think he is attracted to Caitlyn.
yeah,
And I think that that was some low key flirting with
it
all of that.
was. It
And I
was.
think that that's what was going on. It wouldn't surprise me if these two don't end up together because they both were just so grimy. Now, the thing about Devin, the reason why when they was having that conversation and they had got into it on the couch, at first I thought he was coming off way too aggressive. I was like, okay, you kind of doing the most. But then when I re-listened to what she was actually saying, because she was defending this,
Yeah.
not saying, "Oh, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been out there. You right. I probably should have came and got you." And then the three of us should have had a conversation. I thought she was because I couldn't understand her because they weren't mic'd, so I couldn't understand her. But when I was really listening, I said, "Oh no, she got the game twisted." Now, could he have met her with different energy? Maybe. Sure. You know, but sometimes with women like her, sorry, it's got to come out the way it's gonna come out because that's the only way she gonna understand it. Because you can't be nice with people like that. Unfortunately, when she's being manipulative and breadcrumbing him and trying to make him feel like he has to work extra hard just to have some kind of promise of a touch, no, he needed to do that. I'm sorry,
Yep.
because he is wits in. You have to do that. Unfortunately,
Yeah. And Caitlyn thinking she went and dumping him. Girl, you should have been done this. Nobody cares. And that man didn't want you no way. He was sick of you. And I feel for whoever has to deal with you. Because if you're anything the way you were with Devin and any of your relationships, you are the fucking problem.
yep.
You are the problem, Miss Fan. AB says, you know, Caitlyn loved it when Mecca said he would have picked her or Michelle to be coupled with. Oh, yeah, they made eye contact during that. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a little something going outside of the show that nobody knows about because they both also seem like good liars. Right. I wouldn't be surprised, AB. Devin was at the end of his rope. He was tired of her, and I hope he finds joy. I hope he finds joy because it's funny. He plays rugby. It's probably off season right now, but rugby, you play professional rugby. I'm assuming he's going to the UK to do that. Even if he's not, he's traveling. So it's the perfect relationship for someone who claims they're independent, but can't stand Caitlyn. Belle Jolie hit the wall and went off. Belle Jolie should have went off on Caitlyn. I would have been like, bitch, you know what the fuck girl code is. Why is you out there being a smiling asshole around my man knowing what I'm going through? You
Yep.
smiling in every other nigga's face when you need to be smiling in yours more and he's begging for it.
Yep.
But Belle is better than me. But I kind of feel like as a black woman, if she would have done that, that people would have told her she did too much and came down on her. But Mecca and Caitlyn, y'all ain't shit. But Mecca, after they break up, everybody pretty much leaves the retreat. And Mecca and Belle Jolie had a talk. And he is continuing to make Belle Jolie be the only one to do the work in this relationship. He told her the ball is in her court and that if he gets a no on decision day because of his action, that he gets it. Then he says that he loves things about her, but is not in love with her. And she was so confused because she was like, all of the things you say you love about me are me. So how can you not love me and just love those things? Baby girl, he does not want you, and I don't think it's because of Belle. I genuinely believe he wants a white woman, and nothing is wrong with that. But he also makes it seem like Belle is a great friend, like they have friend vibes. I don't want to be friends with a man who dates outside of his race and isn't man enough to admit why. It's fine, but you're a coward if you can't admit your preference and you rather the girl do the work. Like, I don't understand why Mecca moves the way that he does. How did you feel about him telling her the ball's in her court if he gets a no on decision day? I felt like that was him telling her, like, we don't need to say
I was
yes.
so happy Nikki was in that car and was listening to this. I was so happy, which honestly confused me. I said, "How she get a car all of a sudden? Then did she ride up there with?" Never mind, y'all. That's
Well, it's like Devin left without Caitlyn. He said, "Bitch can't come back in my car." So Caitlyn was at the back seat of someone's car, and Nikki also had to because Sean was away. So,
but she was the one driving. That's how you just go. I was like, wait, how you just go drive somebody else's car if that's somebody else's car? But no, I was so happy she was because to me, it's starting to click. They have two of the same coin. I think Nikki and Belle have two of the same coin. They have two men. I feel like, 'cause to me, I don't feel like Sean dates black women. I don't. I know. I think he dates. I think he's just like Mecca. I think those are two of the same men, and I think that they kind of are collecting the same notes. I do.
I don't think Sean is able to.
Oh no, there's always some old gullible white lady that's gonna want that.
The only exes of Sean's that have come out as it relates to the show are people saying that he's been trying to get on reality shows for dating for years, and he likes to meet people. They like the lady said that on one of the dating apps, like when they met, he immediately brought that up. Like Sean is, I see where they fired him. Maybe they had a drink and then let Nikki drive. Who knows?
That was weird. I was like, wait. I was so confused. I was like, wait. Why she just? Why everybody riding? Everybody was riding together like. Like we didn't see them driving all separate cars. I mean, Tori and Felipe made sense her car broke down, so I got why they rode with Adam and Marissa.
Yeah.
And I get why Caitlyn had to ride with who does she ride with? Michelle and Cameron. So
Yeah.
I got that part, but Nikki's did make no sense to me, and she ended up driving somebody else's shit.
I wouldn't have rode with Sean either. Listen, I wouldn't have rode with Sean either. I can imagine. I don't like people who do this in a relationship. This is the fastest way to kill a vibe. Like Sean does the on a date. So what are your love languages? Are you a person who loves acts of service? Like nobody wants to feel like they're being interviewed on a date. The way Sean asks questions, he gives like stuck up and stiff and
So
not
you ain't
fun.
trying to be in no 3 hour road trip with him talk about some.
Hell no. He gonna ask me questions about everything. How do you feel about, trees and what's happening with global warming? Like, shut the fuck up and put on some music, sir. Respectfully. Sean would drive me crazy. I can't be with nobody who feels like we gotta play 21 questions. Like, no, you could play the song 21 questions, shout out 50 Cent, but do not ask me 21 questions in this goddamn car. Okay? My God, Sean is annoying. You can't just, not everything needs to be so up in your face with dating. And I see a lot of people do this on first dates, especially in today's time. And I get it because people want to like filter out the BS, but they're filtering themselves out from the people that may be good for them when you're interviewing people. As if we interview somebody on YouTube, but you're trying to date them. Like, how can you get it natural if you're making it feel like a board meeting? And Sean makes everything feel like a board meeting. He just does. Um, Lord, but Nikki and Sean, once everybody is settled and back, they do discuss the comment he made. She explains that she told the group she was bothered about that comment, and he was like, okay, gay ass, he get on my nerves. Okay, but do you remember when you commented about my belly fat? Yeah, because you nasty as hell. You don't fucking shower. You're not fucking cute. You're a red flag. That's why after you got some pussy, it took you 9 years to get some more. You're misogynistic. You're disrespectful. Okay? So yeah, she commented on your belly fat. You
It was
sitting up here
wild.
begging this woman for coochie. You asked her to jack you off with her hand. Okay? So yeah, she's gonna comment on the belly fat that her hand would probably fucking touch because it's right in the way. Nothing's wrong with it. As quiet as it's kept, the belly fat is not what makes you unattractive, Sean. It's them saggy eyes up under your head, that ill-shaped bald head, and the misogyny that spews from you when you have no reason to. Sean act like he's Denzel in Training Day. He act like he that fine, and I'm looking at him like I'm with
I
AB. That 3 foot tall troll.
to me, I'm trying to understand. Like, so you thought that in this moment it was supposed to be a tit for tat.
That's what I
Like
have
you
in my
thought,
notes.
so
Fire
you
with
thought,
fire.
yeah, so you thought because she talked about your belly fat that you was just going to just attack her looks.
As a whole.
Versus saying, yeah, I need to get into the gym because Lord, I got all this belly, like most people that are normal would do. But I'm not going. Someone talks about my belly fat, I'm not going to say, okay, well, let me pick you apart right quick. You really ain't all that cute. You about a 2 out here in where I'm at, but in other places you may be a 10. Like I'm not finna do that. That is ridiculous and stupid and childish as hell for y'all big grown ages.
That's why he lost his job, because how can you teach other people if this is how you critique? To be a teacher, your job is literally to critique. It's literally to critique. And he can't get nothing right. Sean cannot. Sean is a fucking joke. And his parents ought to be ashamed. And I see why he's single for this long. The most unattractive people can find love. There's a reason he can't. And y'all may think I'm being hard on Sean. I could give a flying fuck. I don't like this man. And therefore, I'm biased. And I'm just letting y'all know I don't like him. There's nothing he could say to fix it. My husband will tell y'all he's in the background. Once I don't like you, I don't fucking like you. And it's not going to change. Okay? I will go to hell and pray that I'll find some ice water or deal with the heat before I like you again. That's how I feel. And Sean just grosses me out. But James is correct. And as my notes state, he just fight fire with fire, but in a worse way. Like he threw gasoline on it. Like James said, the chick made a comment about your belly fat, which is funny because in real time, Sean went to the gym and stuff. But a comment about your belly fat doesn't give you the right to rate this woman as a whole. And as quiet as it's kept, Sean, you from New York and the bitches in your own city don't even want you, you raggedy piece of shit. I cannot stand Dr. Sean Best, and I hate that his last name is similar to this channel's name, but let's say hi to Shayna. Shayna just
Hey,
did a
Shayna.
Married at First Sight review as well with Miss Kira Speaks. Both of their links are in the description of this video. Tap in. They are a time as well. I can't stand Sean though, but I'm gonna move on so I don't get canceled for dragging him. Now, apparently Adam has influenza type B and COVID at the same time. I don't know how this happens. Um, but apparently him being sick forced him to slow down. And with him slowing down, Tori is at the end of the experiment. She's just now able to see that he can be caring. He was making tea and doing stuff because she was sick as well. They did discuss potentially getting their own place, but I don't take Adam and Marissa seriously because I feel like Marissa just be agreeing with whatever Adam says, and then when she does speak out, like she speaks out, but they don't really find resolution. Did you have any thoughts on these two and their talks and being sick?
No, because to me, it just turned into what Adam wanted and what he wants her to do and all this kind of stuff about, we need to go to the gym, at least all this. And I'm just looking at him like, just be with yourself.
Thank you.
Just be with yourself. Because to me, why does the relationship have to be only about you? There's two of you in the relationship. What about doing something Marissa wants to do? Oh, that's right. You don't drink. So this was experts. This was the real, big signifier to put these two together. One don't drink and the other one want to party and have a good time. Opposites aren't always the attraction that needs to happen. Sometimes you need people that have certain similarities together because they are polar opposites. And because she won't open up her mouth and disappoint him and just going along because she's so afraid, Marissa, you can do battle by your damn self. You ain't got to, go through these great
Especially if
lengths to
you
do
met him
that.
years ago and then it
Yeah.
didn't work, like she said in a bar. If I met someone years ago and they never followed up with me, I'm not marrying you at first sight. I'm
Okay.
just
I
not.
I
You
would have
couldn't even
turned
call me
I would have
back.
turned to Julia Roberts real quick. What's that movie
Right.
Runaway Bride? I would have turned to Julia Roberts so quick.
I can't take these people seriously. I swear to God, I can't. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be doing a live, y'all, discussing some things because y'all know Sean lost his job, and I'm coming on the internet. I'm gonna talk straight Oakland shit. I'm from the town. My mouth goes long and far. I cannot stand this man, and it's funny. Every couple of years, somebody come on TV who I cannot stand. Sean, he one of them, and Mecca too. Mecca too. I can't stand a scary man. Oh, Shayna said I can't stand Sean either. Keep going. Oh, I know from your reviews. I don't know who does like Sean. I haven't seen one Sean fan, but I think it's an insult to authors all over the planet, relationship experts, anyone trained in psychology, working in mental health, for him to think that he could fix himself to write a motherfucking book on relationships when he can't even get coochie for 9 years at a time. Like, I just can't. I can't stand Sean. I know he's probably going to send me a cease and desist or something. That's okay. I'd like to point everyone to my disclaimer going across the bottom of the screen and in the description. Shayna says, yeah, Marissa will compromise the rest of her days with him. I think they're just trying to get to the end, Shayna. We were saying that. I don't know if you and Miss Kira felt the same, but I feel like the couples that are left, none of them will really work. We know Cam and Michelle are still together, but I don't feel like any of these couples are going to work, but they all know it. And I feel like they're just staying in it because they want to get to decision day so they could break up in private. He didn't want coochie either. That's the other thing. All these men is zesty. They're all sweet as hell. They're all sweet as hell. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the LGBTQ community, but there are certain mannerisms and things that gay men have. Sean has it. Mecca has it. Hell, Nick had it before he left. I just feel like the experts played with everybody this season. There was a lack of experting. Adam
Mhm.
needs a woman with a job to help him fund his lifestyle. Me and AB were talking about that. I don't think Adam has the money he claims he
I
has.
said that.
James said that as
I
well.
said that.
He did. Because we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I don't know if you're joining the live, James, but a lot of what came out, shout out to AB that he sent me, like, it's given Adam is broke. A woman said Adam bought the blue kimono for her and she didn't want it. So he wears it, probably to piss her off on TV. Can't stand Adam. Um, Tori and Felipe are doing okay. They claim that the fighting was healthy. It wasn't healthy. Um, did you
Whatever
think it
she
was
got,
healthy?
no, whatever she got to do to convince herself to be with this old ignorant ass man, of course. Yeah, sure, it was healthy. Sure, it was healthy.
Oh Lord,
Something's
Shady
wrong with
said.
Tori. Like, I'm trying to get on her wavelength because I do like her, but something's wrong with her. I'm
Um,
sorry.
the comment says you can tell Adam is broke. Look at his place. The broken disco ball that he left hanging told on himself.
It was the
That he
Jetta
was
for
wearing
me.
it. Jesus.
It was the Volkswagen Jetta for me. I get, in Seattle, y'all like Subarus and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sorry. That was a 2005. So come on, you got all kind of money, but you can't get
And
no
to
new
be
car.
fair, Seattle is very expensive.
Yeah.
It is not a cheap place to rent. However, this man made it seem like he had everything. I have the money, the body. I think you just have the body, Adam.
You ain't even
And
got
his
that.
ex co-signed. It's not a mortgage, it's a lease. He don't even own it.
Yeah, that came out.
He don't even own it. He spent all his money on the jet ski. He didn't finance it. He bought it cash. That's probably what he did. There's a lot that came out about Adam that was interesting. The ex is also saying that he used to be into snowboarding. So I'm like, oh, is he one of these people that just chooses a different obsession?
Yep.
But he's a mess. Now, Tori and Felipe claim they're better. He says kind things and gives a wedding photo to her. He says he wants to continue growing and that she makes life feel softer. We later learned that they had a bad conversation off camera, so he brought flowers to her and had kind words. And she asked him if what he said to her was normal. And he seems deeply sorry for what he said. I'm tired of this. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of these couples. Like, Felipe is a boy. Siri needs to play K. Michelle Can't Raise a Man. Like, I can't stand this man. How do you feel about their little final conversation? I don't think they're going to make it.
We know they're not going to make it, but here's the thing. I want to know what the conversation was. I can't wait to see what that was about. Like, I want to know what your conversation was to the extent that we here in the park in the middle of the day in our nice clothes crying. Like, what was that conversation? What exactly happened? Because to me, it was given like something happened in the middle of the marriage that he just confessed about.
Yep.
That's what it
Yep.
was given because I was
Yep.
so confused. I was like, okay, well, what? Like, she literally trying to hold on to her tears, and it was
Yeah.
like, what happened?
How much it's baffling to me that like people in general, women or men, like Devin putting up with Caitlyn, Tori putting up with Felipe, Nikki putting up with Sean. It's baffling that people are willing to put up with so much for love.
Yeah,
It's crazy to me. It's just absolutely baffling. He may want an open marriage. You're not gonna not my phone really playing K. Michelle Can't Raise a Man. I guess Siri was listening. Jesus
I don't
Christ.
think he wants an open marriage. I think he just wants to be free, but the pressure of because something tells me that family is in his ear based on his interaction with his parents.
Yep.
Yeah, like, okay, it's time to settle down. It's time to, we have a family business to run. It's time for you to get a wife. It's time you got some kids so we can keep this money in the family. That to me sounds like the pressure. Like, and I could be wrong, and I don't really care one way or the
Well,
other.
his family is Brazilian. They're from Brazil, he said, or something like that.
Something like that.
And in other cultures, especially outside of America, it doesn't matter if you're in the Middle East, Asia, down under with the Aussies and the Australians, they value marriage. America is one of those few countries where it's not as prevalent. So maybe that's what it is. He said he was lonely. Felipe, get you a little fuck buddy, okay? Somebody who spend the
Right.
night sometimes, cook you some food, but go on their way.
Okay, and then tell your parents, look, it ain't happening. Sorry, not sorry. That's what you got my little sister for, because
I
she
feel
can
like
bear.
his mama signed him up for this.
You think it was her?
Yes. I don't
Okay.
think he did this on his own. I feel like his mom and sister probably did it. It's given he's spoiled. And Tori should have left. She connected a couple episodes ago. She's like, I realize everything he has. His last job he had, his dad got him. His job he has now, he's working with his family. Everything is handed to him. So I would have ran. Because if I'm a hard worker, I don't want to be with somebody who's used to just getting everything on their
Right,
own.
especially if I'm over here driving a broken down Chevy Cruze and stuff like that. I need somebody with some get up and go. I'm not gonna have some like to me. Yeah, Tori, you could have. They messed with you too. I'm gonna put you on that list with
Nikki.
Beljolie and Nikki, and y'all need
Hmm.
to go up to HR and tell them y'all are playing with me. I'm signed up
Hmm.
for this experience to get somebody that is at the very least, bare minimum, halfway decent, and y'all can't even give me that.
Or even not even decent, wants a relationship and behaves
Yeah,
like so. Because everything they had concerns about with Felipe has come true. They were worried that he was late. They were worried he goes out. They were worried about him, the promiscuity. Like, it's just a lot. The last thing we see is Cam and Michelle go on a final date. She's just encouraging him to talk through his feelings. But they do seem happy together. That's my review. Unless James wants to add something to Cam and Michelle.
I'm getting tired of this pointless conversation that they keep having over and over and over and over and over again. I listen, either say what it is, Cam, or don't say nothing at all. Because why do we keep coming back to this conversation about you having some like rush level of anxiety around this decision of spending the rest of your life with this very pretty woman? Why is this the conversation that y'all keep having? Like, what is not Michelle? Because I can't even blame Cam no more. I'm gonna blame you because there's no way he could have keep bringing this conversation. Because what are you saying? What are you talking about? Why do you keep bringing this up?
Girl.
It's like I can't with them two because I'm tired of this conversation. They didn't have this conversation damn near every episode we didn't had of this show. The same conversation about his anxiety and how he doesn't know if he's good enough and all this. I'm tired of hearing that. Like, seriously. And I like Michelle. I do. And Cam, I'm cool with. I ain't got no problem with him either. But we need, if we ain't getting no therapy for this, or if we can't figure out what this is, then we need to take some steps back so we can figure out what this is. And we already know it. It's lack of experience. It's lack of, because nothing has worked, you're scared.
But
But
they're
sometimes,
boring. I'm
yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but they're boring. They're boring. I don't care anymore with Cam and Michelle. I just don't. Um, if they work, woohoo. If they don't, you know, even his issue of lack of experience is not that interesting, in my
Girl,
opinion.
that shit ain't gonna work. They together in real time, but get that shit 3 more years. That shit ain't
We'll
gonna be
see.
the
I need
yeah.
updates. They need to be like a Married at First Sight update where we get
Where
like,
they now? Yeah.
yeah, where are they now? Something like that. That's it for this review, you guys. Tap into James's channel. He will be live tomorrow going over the Housewives of Atlanta.
The last part of the reunion, y'all, and I get rid of the show because they ain't gonna worry me. And yes,
Hopefully next season is better. I'm gonna get a schedule out. I have a lot going on. I'm actually gonna move some stuff around, you guys. Tomorrow I'll have Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. That review will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I will have my 90 Day Fiance review at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, I'm going to do my pop culture live on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just because I looked at my schedule and that's what works best. Me and Kiwan JTV will get out Beauty and Black at some point this week or this weekend. But I appreciate everybody for being here, including James Jackson. Check out his book as well on Amazon. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'm tired and I'm hungry, y'all. But happy anniversary to my husband. Thank you for a good weekend. I will see
yes.
y'all for the next review. I hope everybody enjoys their night. Shout out to James, and we'll see you next time. Au revoir.